Good afternoon, Year 6, and welcome to our final RE lesson of this half term. We are going to move our learning forward from last lesson when we learned about the concept of heaven and look now at the aspect of reincarnation. And I will go into more detail about that as we go through the slides. So I will share my screen with you now and we will begin our learning. Friday, the 12th of February 2021, and we are continuing our learning on beliefs and meanings and the concept of does anything last forever? So our learning, focus, purpose and assessment. Our learning is to understand the concept of reincarnation and emancipation from life. Our focus is to explain the human life cycle according to Buddhist, Hindus and Sikhs. Our purpose is to understand the ideas of emancipation and compare them to reincarnation and heaven. And our assessment is you will create a cycle that demonstrates a Dharmic religious view of the cycle of life. Okay, so reincarnation means a rebirth of a new beginning. And emancipation means freedom from something. So it's to gain freedom. So we will look at what these concepts mean to each Dharmic religion and then what each different religious view is. But before, we'll look back at our previous learning. So in our previous lesson, we learned about the Abrahamic religions that believe that when a person dies, they go to heaven. And these religions were Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So those are your Abrahamic religions. So a human life cycle. So we start from a seed, an embryo, and we grow inside our mothers, and we're born, and we become a toddler, then a child, then a young adult, then an adult, then an elderly person, and then we pass away. So those are the stages of a human life cycle. And we've looked at that before, with both in science and in our previous lesson, we looked at the life cycle. So what do those who follow the Abrahamic religions believe happens after death? What do you remember? What did we learn? So think about that for a moment. So Dharmic religions. We're going to look now at the Dharmic religions. So they are Buddhism, Hinduism, and Sikhism. And those are the symbols of these religions. So these are the Dharmic religions. So let's have a look at reincarnation and emancipation and what Buddhists believe. Buddhists do not believe in God. They believe that the ultimate goal is nirvana, meaning nirvana means to blow out or extinguish. Nirvana is not a place, but a state of non-existence. When someone reached nirvana, their soul is in harmony with the universe and they would cease to exist. So the idea of a Buddhism cycle is that you are born, you live your life, and it has to be a good life. And a good life means that you have followed the Noble Eightfold Path of Buddhist beliefs. If you do not follow that path, then you face reincarnation, and reincarnation as something not quite as highly regarded as a human. And this can happen many times until you follow the Eightfold Path. Hinduism. So Hindus believe in moksha. They believe that Atam, the soul, and we've talked about the soul in our previous learning, so the a similarity between the Dharmic and the Abrahamic religions is that they believe in a soul, and they believe that your soul will become one with the god Brahma. Now, Hindus have lots of different gods that that each represent a different aspect of their life. They believe in a cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, and our actions in this life, our karma, affect our future reincarnations. Kindness leads to good karma, and selfishness leads to bad karma. And they believe that the soul can maybe reincarnated many times, and the end of the cycle is called moksha, which can be reached if you live your best life. It makes you one with God, and sets you free from having to be reborn on this earth again. And because Hindus believe in reincarnation, it affects their view on death. So they believe that a quick burial, a, a funeral is needed to in order for you to reach your moksha. And they believe that burning the body is the quickest way to achieve that. So you have to have lived your best life, and you have to have followed one of the following paths: knowledge, meditation, devotion, or good works. So again, if you do not follow and good works, so that you can reach moksha. Mukti, so sorry, I jumped ahead. So now reincarnation and emancipation in Sikhism. So mukti involves becoming one with God. Sikhs believe that God does not have any particular form, but that you again have to live a good life to achieve mukti. So they believe in the same repetitive cycle of birth, life, death, and rebirth, and that you will be reincarnated in a different form if you do not achieve good karma through meditation and good works. So if you achieve good karma, then you achieve mukti, which is where you want to be, well, your final goal should be to achieve mukti. You don't particularly want to be reincarnated, because reincarnation is not a way of becoming emancipated, free from life on earth. So Buddhists, Hindus, and Sikhs all believe in the idea of reincarnation, of this rebirth. They believe that reincarnation is when the soul is reborn into another living body, plant or animal. And if you live not a very good life, what your reincarnated self will not necessarily be a human or a good thing. So what would you like to be reincarnated as? What would you like to be reincarnated as? If you were going to be reincarnated, what would you like to come back as? You don't really get the choice, but what would you like to come back as? And what would it look like? Rebirth as a human being is the highest, best form of reincarnation. So you might have almost lived your good life, but not quite got there. So then your rebirth will be as a human again, but it's considered the highest, the best form of reincarnation. So if you don't quite make it to the place within the religions that bring you emancipation, then the best form of reincarnation is as a human. Karma, the effect of good and bad deeds, affects what the soul will be reborn as. So if you have bad karma, you might come back as a worm, you might come back as a snail, a wasp, a bee, and it doesn't necessarily have to be an animal that has a long life. So you have to work to actually achieve your emancipation, to reach those end goals. So freedom, emancipation from the cycle of birth, death, and reincarnation is considered to be the ultimate goal of all three religions. So they believe that emancipation, this freedom, is the best possible thing you can achieve. So reincarnation and emancipation. So this is a close-up cycle that you can see. So we've got a cycle. We start off with life, and we die. Did you achieve good karma through meditation and good works? No. So then you are reborn again. But you might make it to be a human again, but you might not. You might make it into a wasp or a bee or a worm. Okay, so if you have a look closely at the diagram, you will see. So you will only reach here. So how is emancipation achieved? That's a question for you, because I've told you. So it's achieved living your best life, following the path that your chosen religion wants you to take. So that can be meditation, good works, good deeds, knowledge, depending on which religion you choose. Okay, so your task for today, I would like you to choose one of the religions that we have just looked at and draw a cycle of reincarnation and emancipation. So what happens here? And mukti, if that's religion you choose, or whether you get to know here, what will you come back as here? And remember, reincarnation can happen many, many times before you actually make it to emancipation and the freedom that you achieve. So you might choose to draw more than one cycle. So you might have another cycle of a different creature or something that you would like to be reincarnated as. Okay, so I will repeat. Your task is to draw at least one cycle and include your own part of what you would be what you would like to be reincarnated as, and then another cycle of what you might be reincarnated as. And maybe you could do me one of what you think is the worst thing you could be reincarnated as. I don't think I can think. A, a thing that sprung to my mind straight away was a slug. I don't think I'd like to be reincarnated as a slug. But send your work into your teacher. If you would like to create your work on slides and cut and paste images and make your arrows, that is fine. If you want to draw it and send it on Dojo, that is also fine. But that's your task for today. So enjoy. Enjoy learning about what you could be reincarnated as, and have a great half term. And I will see you in just over a week's time. Bye.